listen.
Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Get on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
I woke up this morning and all I wanted to talk about was All Star Snubs, even though the All Star team hadn't been announced by the time I woke up. And when I woke up, I said, there's only one person on the planet I want to talk to. Julian McWilliams. Either that or Thomas Harding.
Look at the smile. You got me. Nobody you'd rather talk to.
Nobody I'd rather talk to. Give me if we could do it with the power ranking of reactions to there's nobody I'd rather talk to introduction. There's the that's not true. No.
I have the one guy that didn't get any reaction. Was it Luke Weaver?
But no, he smiled. Yeah, he was all right.
There's somebody
Carter Wong did sort of a why?
Why? I mean, he brings up a good point.
But there's the you're right.
Well, just the self-awareness with Connor Long is awesome.
No, I loved his reaction. but there's the oh no, you don't mean it. There's that reaction. I'm no. There's the there's just the laughing. There's just the smiling.
Yeah.
There's if the thing is that if I don't get a smile now, because it works 100% of the time, but that 99% of the time, but that 1% of the time when you're like, why isn't he smile? He should be smiling more. I doubled down. Julian. I doubled down on it. I just there's nobody I'd rather be talking to on the planet right now than so and so.
So
nobody. I'm doing it until I get a smile. Yeah.
I think that what happens if you don't get the smile from that? Does it lead to a bad interview?
No, well, first of all, I always do get the smile.
Ultimately.
Okay. But no.
Okay.
It's science though. It's like for all the journalism classes that people go through, pay all that money for.
Oh.
Here's a couple things. I'm going to give you three things. Three things, right? Here we go. Ready? You ready?
Yeah.
This is gold.
Yeah.
Number one, you don't need the notebook.
You don't.
All these people who got the tape recorder out with a notebook underneath the tape recorder, jotting stuff down. If you can't remember what the person says, then you got a problem. Then you got a bad memory. And also,
I agree.
When the subject sees you writing stuff down, he knows that you're not paying attention to what he's saying. Don't put the notebook. It's dumb.
It is dumb. I think it's totally dumb. And respectfully to all the people who wear notebooks, I just don't do it.
A lot of nice people have notebooks. I'm just saying.
People have to put that on the T-shirt. A lot of nice people have notebooks.
It's their prerogative to be wrong.
Yeah, I just it's not conversational. It's like a transaction at that point.
I just don't understand what the reward is. I've never done an interview, Julian, where I can't remember what the person said.
Yeah. No, I agree. I can't. I can't either. If I don't remember and it's in a scrum, I just ask Ian Brown.
Yeah, there you go. Number two, I think that more people should give out stickers before they conduct an interview.
Ooh, you know what? You might be onto something there because the sticker thing with my daughter, right? Like we're in soccer today and she doesn't get a sticker until soccer's over. But leading up to it, it's like where's my sticker? And like she's in a bad mood. And I'm like, can you just kick the freaking ball in the goal real quick? And I'm like, look, Peyton, you're getting a sticker. And it's like, whoa, sticker, 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 sticker.
I'm telling you, you've witnessed it firsthand where I could go up to someone. A lot of these people I don't know at all. I don't know at all. And so I go up to them and it's like, oh, who's this Jamoke going to come up and ask me for an interview? I'm really busy, whatever. And they're like, hey, do you have a minute? And you could tell they're like, before we start, let me give you this sticker. And then they look at it again, all that smile. It's a great way to start an interview. You're not sacrificing your journalistic integrity by giving a baseball some boring sticker.
You're breaking the ice.
You're breaking the ice. And then every interview, every long form interview, every interview that's going to go 4 minutes or more should begin with, there's no human being on the planet I would rather be talking to right now.
Yeah, I saw Taiwan Walker the other day. I was like, "Hey, you're on my podcast last year, and there's no other person on the planet I'd rather talk to." He's like, "Oh, really? Yeah, I remember that."
Yeah, right.
Before that, he didn't remember. So
no, exactly. And you're just learning how to say it. You kind of stumble through it. You're like,
I know.
There's on the planet. There's nobody. I think I would rather not.
Maybe.
Anyway, 3 rules of journalism right there. You're welcome, everybody. So
there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
All right, I want to talk
the good stuff.
I want to talk about the
All
Star. The All Star selections have happened. I love such an underutilized word, snub. Snubs. There's been some snubs. I'm going to rattle off the 3 names that I have the biggest problem with.
Go ahead.
2 of them are players that didn't make it. One of them is a player that made it, which is an unbelievable travesty. All right?
Ooh,
okay.
A travesty.
Yeah, which you want? Okay. I'll start with the players who didn't make it. A guy who I sat with his general manager in the dugout just days before opening day, said this guy's going to be in the Cy Young conversation. And that is Minnesota's Joe Ryan. How Joe Ryan does not make the All-Star game is crazy. He has the second lowest whip, okay? The sixth best strikeout to wash ratio, 16th best ERA among all qualifying starters, which is a 2.90 ERA, or this I think it's actually a 2.70 ERA. Go down the list. It's like this guy is an all-star. He deserves to be an all-star. Anyway, that's number 1. Number 2, and I hate to say this because the guy doesn't need help from me to live life because he makes $8 billion. Juan Soto. How Juan Soto doesn't make the team is crazy.
916 OPS, I think now, right? Or 906, something like that.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I'm kind of with you on that, but
you know what? Your reaction is exactly what everybody else when the players.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I mean, I don't like walks. Okay.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna just put that out there for all the people out there. I hate walks. All right.
Okay.
When you're there to slug, like if you walk and you can't run, it doesn't do anything for. There should be a value, I think, on a guy that can draw or walk and steal second base. Right, Juan Soto, he's okay. He's fine. He can still. But what good do you do if you just walk?
Yeah, he does more than walk, though.
He does. I know. I'm just.
You just say walks.
I just don't like walks. I just don't like it when people are, he walks at a such and such clip. I don't care if my power hitter walks. I really don't.
No, you got to do more than walks. Yeah.
I look at slug. That's what I care about.
That's when Devers was going bad. It's like, oh, look, he's walking. Like, so?
I don't care. He's not taking second. Fine. You get a single. Whoop-de-doop-de-doo. I don't care. But anyways, no, I get you in that. I think Juan Soto's he's put together more than freaking Jazz Chisholm on the. Oh my God.
We'll get to him. You get your
Okay,
turn.
let's
All right.
yeah, okay. All right.
All right. By
let's
the
go.
way, I'm just going through some of the other outfielders. Andy Paez is another guy who didn't make it. He probably should have made it for the
Really?
Dodgers. Yeah. And so
Really, as
yeah.
Vander says, really?
Yeah, really. That's another one.
Really?
That's rule number 4 of journalism. Always act interested, even if you aren't interested.
Yeah,
Really?
no.
Really?
Ooh.
And then I see this. I'm reading through the always excellent Chad Jennings, but he was talking about Ceddanne Rafaela, and
no.
Yes, but I just want to get this out of the way because this is sort of like your walk rant. You know,
I love Chad.
he says it's hard for a player to make a case for an all-star team strictly on the strength of his defense, but Rafael made a case. Chad, I like you personally. I respect you. You do a great job, but don't even introduce a player. Don't even introduce ever a player ever making the all-star team on defense. It will never, ever happen. Like that's
Like how many all-star games did Ron Artest make? Let's look that up. Like, I mean, and he scored too.
Yeah,
and
especially
I hate the cross.
Listen, the last player that may have even come close to that is Ozzie Smith. But
he has like a 45, and this is me. I only talk about WAR when it helps my case. He has like a 45 defensive WAR. Like he's like a Hall of Famer almost as just a defensive player, which is crazy. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at this.
All right.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to give you
in 17 years, Ron Artest made one All-Star game. So there you go. And then it was the year when he was Defensive Player of the Year. No, that wasn't the year. When was the year he made it? Yeah, it's the same year. He averaged 18 a game. So he was scoring that year. So there you go.
I know that everyone kept saying Marcus Smart's going to make an All-Star team. I'm like, no, you. If you can't, there's nobody who averages less than 10 points a game that makes the All-Star.
Tony Allen? Come on, guys.
No, come on.
Let's not do this.
That's not. Yeah. I'm looking at WAR right now.
Juan Soto.
Ooh.
I like that.
I mean, if you Rafael has a 2.7 WAR. I mean, he's up there.
Yeah, fine. He's fine.
But he's fine. I mean, if honestly, if he had another stretch of 2 more weeks, then of good offense, he might have made it. I don't want to talk about Ceddanne Rafaela. I want to talk about one of the players who did make it, who I would have taken Ceddanne Rafaela over. I would have taken about 15 guys over.
Who's that?
Julio Rodriguez.
Mm.
It is and I like Julio. I like him personally. He's in Tom Hanks' favorite book, A Damn Near Perfect Game.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Moved up on the bestsellers list.
Yeah. Big news coming in that respect. Anyway, but Julio Rodriguez.
That doesn't do.
His OPS, Julian, it's under 700.
Yeah, that just doesn't do it. And you know what? I was like, I was thinking a couple weeks ago, maybe no, this was last week. I said, he kind of seems like and I mean this as respectfully as I can. I know we're not talking about Ceddanne Rafaela, but Ceddanne Rafaela is kind of like a poor man's Julio Rodriguez, right? Or like without the height, the body, obviously everything to do with it, but like there has not been that much in say the last 1 or 2 year stretch that has impressed me with Julio Rodriguez other than his defense. I think he should be better offensively. I think he doesn't. I'm bringing up the walk. He doesn't swing at strikes. Okay, he's got a little bit better, but he doesn't swing at strikes. I think he should hit for a little bit more power than he does. And I know he's known to go on a heater, but I hate heaters, right? I hate heaters because I'd much rather have a guy who has maybe one or 1.5 down months in a year and is just consistent over the guy that stinks like he stunk in 2023, I believe, and he ultimately got on that bender that he went on, that heater bender that he went on toward the end of the season. And now we're looking, I'm saying, oh, he got to his numbers. No, your team didn't make the playoffs because of you. So, because those games in the beginning matter. So don't talk to me about value at the end of the season. Talk to me about the value throughout the course of a season. And that's what Julio Rodriguez to me. He's the ultimate heater guy. He's the ultimately heater guy.
You know what?
That's below 600 or 700. You should not be in the All-Star game. Period.
Well, I mean,
it's not like you're slugging.
This is player vote. This is, and this comes back to
this comes back to the player votes too.
Right.
They don't know anything.
Right. I mean, all the players want to vote for the Hall of Fame. The players want to vote for the All-Star game. The players want to do this, want to do that.
Right, whatever, do it.
Yeah, go ahead. All right.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Fine. I don't know.
There's one less thing you have to do.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You know what?
I'm not gonna say they don't know anything, but like it all ends up being the same stupid stuff. I mean, you let guys vote for the All-Star game in basketball a few years ago, and it was terrible. So no, whatever.
So
whatever.
The Julio Rodriguez thing, I still like him as a player. I was dead wrong when I was screaming and yelling, doing my, who would you start a franchise with? And I kept saying Julio Rodriguez. No, I mean, sorry, I'm not. I take it back. But Julian, one of the things that I want you to pay attention to, and this is great for your CBS Sports, television, internet, writing, all the platforms. This will be a great topic for you. This is right in your wheelhouse. This is a straight ball right down the middle for you. Extensions, right? We like crow about how great it is these teams are signing these guys to extensions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm starting to see more and more and more with the guys who have signed the extensions is not a trajectory up.
No.
But a human nature, and not everybody, but we haven't seen like these guys who have signed these extensions just take off like they did before to warrant the extension. And I don't know if it has always been that way, but it's starting. And you know who said this, brought this up? Our good friend Kenley, who also should be on the All-Star team.
Yeah.
But he brought this up. Like, he's like, it sounds like old man yelling at clouds, these young guys getting their money, whatever. But I want people to go through these guys who are getting extensions and tell me the guys who are just like becoming the players that you say, oh, they're going to take it to the next level. And maybe they ultimately do. But there's so many examples now, and Julio Rodriguez seems like one of them, where you're okay, but you're not, after you sign your extension, you're not the player that you're sort of like billed at. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, look, with case in point, here locally, I mean, the Christian Campbell thing. Like, there are some circles that people say, why would he ever, sign that thing? Are you kidding me? And then now, I mean, including me. I mean, the first week of the season, I'm like, good God, this kid is Willie Mays here, right? Like, it's like, but then you look up and it's like, oh, he's in AAA Worcester. Like, maybe it was a good thing for him to sign. Now, I'm not saying he's not going to be a good player, but it's just a trajectory. Like, to assume that somebody's going to become Ronald Acuna Jr., and I know this guy's not having a good down season, but he's had a really good career, Ozzy Albies, is.
But it's just not.
But
there's some of those Atlanta. That's one of the things that they talk about with that Atlanta team, which is that was supposed to be this Uber team of guys who are signing extensions. They're all in their prime. They're all going to take off.
And look at them now,
locked up. And yeah,
they're not having a good season.
That's my point. Is that if those guys that signed the extensions became the players that you signed the extension for, they would be in first place now, but they aren't. And whether it's injury or whatever it is, and I think even some of it, I think maybe it is you might have the initial problem, like not the immediate payoff. Like you look at guys like Raffaello or Bayo, right? They might ultimately be good, but when they signed that extension, it's supposed to be, here you go. You don't have to
Yeah.
worry about any. That's what you don't have to worry about anything but baseball now.
Oh
But-
yeah, well,
yeah.
and then we know that can go the opposite way. Like
Yeah.
you just stop worrying about baseball too. I don't. I'm not gonna. I wouldn't say any names, but I'm just saying like that's sort of how that could go as well, where it's like, okay, I got my money, and for a lot of these guys, shoot, for anybody, like I mean, for me, you, that's life changing money, right? I mean, that's you don't have to heat up the house with the oven anymore. I mean, it's done. It's over with.
What do you
just
say? You don't
you don't
have the house
you
with the
don't have
oven?
to you don't have to heat the house with the oven.
You don't have to dry your
I
socks.
never had to do that.
You
But
ever dry your socks in the oven?
no, I'll be scared of the smell after a while. Like even after they came out the wash, I'd be like, it just seems a little,
All right.
No, I think my mom might have a heart attack if I did that. But
Speaking of undergarments, the other day with Taylor I did hold on. Put that on the bumper sticker.
a lot of people, what do you say was a lot of great people have notebooks. We're putting that on a
I just
t-shirt.
feel like yeah. A lot of nice people have notebooks. It's their prerogative to be wrong. But speaking of undergarments, ... Taylor Rogers, when he came on the podcast last week, I trust that he was telling the truth. He said he packs every pair of underwear that he owns every time he takes a trip.
Really?
Just in case.
That really was like, well, I do this though. Like I always bring like 2 extra just in case. My wife laughs at me because like, dude, you never know what can happen. Like it could be just a bad day. Right? Like, and she's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "You never know." And thank God it's never happened. But I'm just saying, like, you never know. You really never know. You really never know. So good on him. I mean, he must have a lot of kaopectate too.
No, he's not, but that's not what he's talking
Pepto.
about. He's talking about getting traded. He's talking about not being able to go home.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
I was talking about going to the bathroom.
He wasn't talking about your kind of bad day, like having to chili. Like,
beans and ish.
yeah, beans and ish. Yeah. Nah. He's talking about getting traded.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I like how you took that turn though. That's pretty good. I led you down that path.
Went from speaking of undergarments to speaking of kaopectate.
I was trying to keep it baseball related. You started talking about beans. Anyway, we're off topic. Who are snubs? Who are your snubs?
Yeah. No, I'm looking at my list right here. First off, I can say one snub for me that even though he still made the team, I think it's a snub that he's not a starter. Byron Buxton. It's like, okay, so you have Javi Baez starting in that outfield.
Yeah, but that's the starter thing is stupid. Because that's
okay. Okay.
As long as he makes a team. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I got it. I mean, he's made the team, but I just get. Listen, I could say you want me to talk about who I don't want to be, who I don't think should be there.
Sure.
Jazz Chisholm.
Okay.
What are we doing? Like now I do see where, and I think he's a good player. I think he's a good player, but I do see where some of his peers think he's like the most overrated player in baseball. Like I like where those polls come out and they say that, because not saying that he's not a good player, because I think people saying like, oh, overrated means the guy sucks. No, I don't think it necessarily means the guy sucks. It just means he's not rated properly. And I think this is a prime example of him not being rated properly. You're talking about a guy who's hitting 215 2 weeks ago. He went to New York and he had a solid OPS. And he left that series with the solid numbers, but then those numbers quickly changed. And you're looking at a guy hitting like 215 2 weeks ago, who's now in the All Star game. I just can't get with that.
You know
what
I'm starting to see. I'm going to be a hypocrite because I just said, you can't make the team playing just good defense. But
I'll give you one.
No, hold on a second.
Sorry.
Yeah, how dare you? Did you just have one of those days?
No,
One of them
no.
days.
One of
Uh,
them days.
so I do think the players, though, looking at some of these players that they voted in, they did exactly what these lazy MVP voters are doing. War.
Okay.
They're going to war.
Okay.
Like because Jazz Chisholm and Julio Rodriguez
Who
both
gives a
have both have a 2.3 WAR, which isn't terrible.
Yeah, but in that case, Sedan Raffaello should be in then, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, like, I mean, and I don't want to be a guy sitting here talking about Sedan Raffaello because it's not where we're on this podcast. It just doesn't work like that. But it's like, war what? I can't get on a number. I can't get on a formula that has two different ways to get to a result. There's Fangraphs war and there's B war. Okay, so we compute our numbers differently. We have different numbers for different. We value things differently. Okay, so it's not the same. So it's not the same stat then. So stop gaslighting me on this stat. That's just this sort of this made up thing. It seems like for me sometimes where it's like, okay, you can clearly watch a game and see who's an impactful player, but just because he doesn't walk at a Juan Soto rate or at a Rafael Devers rate this year, war doesn't go with him. And I just can't get with that at all. I can't.
I don't disagree with you. I don't
I
disagree with
can't.
you. But I think that's looking at some of these people who were voted in, I think that's what they're defaulting to. Because Julian, you know as well as I do, when a lot of these people vote for MVP, that's the thing they go to. This is why Mike Trout.
Yeah.
This is when Mike Trout played, about 114 games one year and finished fourth in the MVP voting. I was the only person to vote him ninth.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, okay, the number 2 criteria, according to this archaic voting system, is games played. He only played in this. We can't assume that he was going to play the rest of the games the way, even though probably would, but we can't assume it. And everyone just defaults to war. So
that's I mean, it's become a lazy stat, I think. It's become the stat for people who I sometimes think don't necessarily care about watching the game and they just care about
boom.
The numbers that are on the piece of paper. I give you somebody else
All
who
right.
I think was snubbed was Michael Bush.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're on a team that's surging. One of the cornerstone franchises of our game, Chicago Cubs, has PCA on that same team. So you can't say, hey, big market, biggest team, one of the bigger teams in baseball. So we're not going to say, oh, publicity here. Has Kyle Tucker, PCA, one of the better, Craig Counsell, one of the better pitching staffs in baseball. And this guy's on the team. What does he have? 18 homers?
939 OPS.
18 homers, 56 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, 943 OPS. Is there like a do-over committee? Like how the Hall of Fame has that committee that gets
the
people in at
Veterans
the end?
Committee.
They need like
no, you know what their do-over committee is hoping somebody can't play because they're hurt.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, so obviously, and then I can Bregman being in there after not playing for 2 months. I mean, is it that poor of a? I don't know. I just think you got to figure out a way to get that guy in with his numbers that he's put up, with the team that he's playing for, with the spotlight that the Cubs have on this year. Like, I couldn't see a guy on the Red Sox or Yankees not making this team. I don't know what was up with that snub this year.
That's an excellent one. Excellent job by you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Your affirmation means everything.
I'm just looking up Michael. Who else would be I should know this, but who else is in the he'll make the team. He is too good. He'll make the team. Michael Bush, don't make any plans
don't get
for
down
the
on yourself.
Yeah, don't get down on
you hear
yourself.
This podcast, don't get down on yourself.
And also don't make any plans to go water skiing at the lake because you're probably going to be in Atlanta.
Is he a Midwest Lake guy?
No, I don't know. You always don't you ask players, hey, what do you do when you have nothing else to talk to them about? Hey, what are you doing at the All-Star break? Nothing. Go in the lake.
Family.
Go in the
Cape.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I really care.
Yeah.
Care so much about what you do at the All Star. And truthfully, I think a lot of these. You know what? You're on point. He's from Minnesota, so he might be a lake guy. You're
He's
right
a late
there.
guy. Michael Bush, certified late guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, here's what I'm going to tell Michael Bush right now. Don't inflate the tube to be dragged around by the boat quite yet. All right? Don't pull that out of the shed quite yet.
Don't do it.
Because you might not need it because you might be in Atlanta having to wear a suit in 120-degree weather.
Ooh, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, you better. You know what? You know
I gotta
what?
book.
You know what?
I gotta book this flight too.
You know what, Julian?
What's that?
You better bring three pairs of extra underwear.
God, dude, I know. The heat, swamp. You know what? There's not enough powder that you can put down. Like Kenley Jansen said last year. Remember, he's talking.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
He was like, he said to one of our close friends of the Nesson broadcast. His name starts with a J, and he's like, "Bro, you don't put powder down there?" He's like, "Nah, bro, I don't need no powder." He's like, "Dude, your joints be barking like." He said, "There's no way. It's 100 degrees outside, bro." Because Kenley Jansen was like the king of like baby powder in his
Man.
in his locker.
He should have made the All-Star team. He got screwed by like 2 outings.
2 games, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's the same thing with Jesus Luzardo too. He had like 2 horrific games where I think he allowed like 20 earned runs. It was something nuts. And the last time I think Dombrowski was like that he just had to have him wear it because their bullpen was in a bad spot. But like, yeah, if you take away those 2 games, he has like a 3.5, 3.4 ERA.
I'm looking it up. He's given up runs.
Oh, yeah, he was bad in his last one too.
Yeah, but yeah. I think he's given up runs in like 4 games. So anyway. Before we get to like the front, like all the things that are bad about the All-Star game and good about the All-Star game. Any other players? No, that you care about?
That I care about? Let me look at this list.
What player? Let me ask you this: what player
Mm-hmm.
are you most looking forward to talking to at the All-Star break or All-Star game?
If Will Middlebrook sees this, he's gonna laugh and he's gonna know why he's laughing. So he's made me insecure in saying this, but no, probably like a James Wood. Like I know you've talked to him and he hasn't. I just haven't talked to him.
Yeah.
I just want to know how he hits the ball so hard. Like it's just fascinating to me. And he's probably the guys I just don't really get a chance to talk to. I think
you know what
Pete Crow Armstrongs.
Pete Crow Armstrong. Yeah, he's a good one.
And James Wood. I think those are my 2 top guys.
A guy who's come up on the podcast like a million times this year is Jacob Wilson. Yeah, just because like he's so unique. You know,
not the Wilson from the Yankee. I mean, from the Red Sox.
This from the A's.
Justin Wilson.
Yeah, not Justin Wilson. No.
Okay.
One of them went to the White House. One of them didn't. But yeah, Jacob Wilson. Pete Crow Armstrong's a good one though. That's a good one.
Yeah. No, I'm fascinated and just like I just like those athletic, wiry guys.
I also like the fact that he hung around when his mother was the actor on the mother on Little Big League, and he get to hang around with big leaguers as a little kid on the set.
There should be a book written on how these rich private school kids all came from like this one school, like Harvard Westlake, like Lucas Giolito, Max Fried, Pete Crow Armstrong, Jack Flaherty. Like we're not talking about we're not talking about a powerhouse school. Excuse me if I'm sound like a New Yorker, but like a Don Bosco prep, like in New Jersey football team, right? Like we're talking about like where guys send their kids to go to Harvard. and where people were kids, like that's insane to me. Like it's like if if four guys from a similar age bracket all came from Milton Academy.
Yeah.
Like it's wild. That's fascinating to me.
I think you should do a story on it. I think
Yeah,
you
there
should.
should be a
I
story
think
on
you
that.
should do a TikTok on it.
I call somebody else for a TikTok. I don't have time for TikTok.
No,
There's a lot of people who do TikToks these days.
I know you're old school.
Give me some. Yeah, I kind of am.
You know
old
what's
soul.
ironic is that the same people holding notebooks are doing TikToks. Pick a lane, man. Anyway, all right.
You and these notebooks. The notebooks more than anything offend you. There's two things that offend Rob in this world: notebooks and carbs.
Yeah. I'm able to stay away from one of them.
No, you do a good job of staying away from the carbs
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. The
Well, you hide them from me at least. Every time I'm in the press box, like, what are you eating? I'm like, some rice.
I was
How
at-
could you eat rice?
I had carbs today. You know why?
You about to faint.
What?
You're about to faint,
No.
like in New York.
No. That's true. I had carbs when I was about to faint. I had carbs today. You know why?
Why is that?
I went to church.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you drink the juice
You dip it in.
or the wine?
You dip it in. It's grape juice. You dip
I
it in.
told Chelsea that
It's a lot.
story.
It's a lot of sugar in the bread.
Oh, that's funny.
I had to go walk 2 miles after that. So all right, the All Star game. Here's my rant about the All Star game. Ready?
Yeah, good.
First
Rant.
of all, the dumbest thing baseball ever did, and that's saying something, was when they said the winner of the All Star game gets home field advantage. It was that came out obviously after they had a tie or whatever, and it was the dumbest thing of all time. And here's the ultimate reason why. Julian, I don't know how many All Star games you've been covering, but for years upon years upon years, players would leave in the fifth inning. It was a spring training game. They would be on their private jets in the fifth and sixth inning because we would know because when a player when a player is pulled, if you're covering that player, you
got to go downstairs.
You got to go down and you talk to them. And then so we're down there. You don't usually see the second half of the game. So you're down there and you're interviewing and you see guys.
It sucks as the beat writer. It's terrible.
Yeah. The game itself is the worst part. But players were leaving in the fifth or sixth inning, which is, you're right. They should. It's fine. I don't care. But the fact that they were actually trying something as important as home field advantage in the World Series. Holy crap.
Yeah. That's not something that I would like. You almost feel bad, right? Like leaving. So it's like, am I doing my team a disservice even though I'm out the game by not cheering on this other guy from my team who I have no idea who he is, but we're wearing the same uniforms now today? Is this something of a disservice?
You know what?
Am I playing the long game and thinking like you feel they make you feel shamed? They shame you.
The guys
they shame you into staying here.
Manny Ramirez felt no shame when he was leaving like in the fifth inning. He felt zero shame.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You know what? Because you know what Manny said, we'll win on the road. We'll win on the road. But I'm sure that wasn't his thoughts. He was just trying to get the hell out of there. Which I don't blame these guys.
I like the All-Star stuff leading into it. I like the because everyone's in a good mood. There's accessibility to these guys. We mentioned some of the guys that you get a chance to talk to that you don't normally talk to. So Saturday you have the Futures game. I like talking to those guys. There's, then you have the draft, whatever. That's a whole nother podcast.
I hate the Futures game.
The what?
I hate the Futures game.
Well, that's fine. I mean, I'm just talking about, I don't watch it. I'm talking about interviewing these kids. When I can ask Tamar Johnson, like when I say,
hey, you know what Tamar Johnson's hitting? 230.
Okay. Well, when I asked him last year if you're in the middle seat of a plane,
That was pretty funny.
yeah, and he
I
said,
saw
and I
that.
said, well, who
I
gets
need something like that.
he said, I said, which arm, who gets the armrest, the inside or the outside? He's like, nah, the outside, because you need something. You got the
Yeah.
window. Yeah.
Yeah. That was actually pretty fun. And particularly, by the way, I think Tamar, people know Tamar, he's a really good kid too. So it's
Great
like,
kid.
yeah. And I wish the best for him because I know he's a really, really good hitter. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked by his numbers. But like, no, that was an elite interview because we all think the same thing when we have like the middle rows, like the middle seat is like when you put your arms down and the person's arm is like sort of like on the same plane as
Yeah.
yours, and it's your elbows caressing their elbow. It's like, how could you? How do you dare take this
I
from me?
misrepresented. He said the middle person in the middle seat deserves the armrest because you have to have something, which
You
is
have to
so
have
true.
something.
You have
You
to have
have to have
something.
something. You gotta have
But
something.
anyway, and then you have the media availability where all the players have to sit there for 45 minutes and answer questions, which obviously is a good thing. And then you have the home run derby, which I don't care about. And then the day of the game, the value is that you can talk to the players before the game in the clubhouse. I don't care about the game. The game like is
No,
nah. Last
no.
year, I stuck around because I was covering the guy who won the MVP. But yeah, I don't care about the game. Let's get out of there. Boom.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm with you. The one thing that I think is kind of like funny is the whole red carpet thing with their stuff. It's like,
Oh,
dude, like I see you guys coming to clubhouse every like baseball guys, like you're not nobody's looking at you for your fashion, right? Like it's not like you guys come in every day with your your leggings or skinny, not skinny jeans, but like your capris or whatever the hell they wear all the time with the, it's like tight around the ankles, their white shoes, the white shirt. And all of a sudden, I'm supposed to care about this red carpet thing. It's all eyewash. It's all eyewash. You can't dress. Most of you guys can't dress. Rob,
mm.
we forgot one snub. Nick
What?
Pavetta.
Oh, Nick Pavetta. Yeah, our buddy.
Holy,
Our buddy.
I'll tell you this. And that was the most shocking encounter I had was him saying hello to me in the clubhouse. Because I covered that guy for 5 years and I don't care. I have my friends. I could care less if any of these guys are my friends. I have my friends. Um, but yeah, so him saying, walking by me, noticing me, and saying, "Oh, how's it going?" And I'm like, or something to that effect. I'm like, "Oh, is the world about to end? Like, what's going on?" Like, it's like, well, Nick Pavetta, if you're listening, I'm sure you are. You were snubbed. You
Yeah.
were
I
snubbed.
thought he was going to make it up.
I did too. I did too. And I don't want to hear that. Oh, who would you take off? Then who would you take off?
Well, the weird thing is they had Jason Adam made it from that team. So
Crazy. I don't get it.
Nick
I
Pavetta, he
don't
has
get
a
that.
3.25 ERA, 104 whip.
He's played well. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
Oh
some
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. All right, Julian, the last thing I want to talk to you about, okay, is
Red
as we
Sox sweeping the Nationals.
no. Well,
Here
it
we
has to
go.
do with the Nationals.
Ooh, oh, Mike. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Julian
Serious
McWilliams,
topic.
your thoughts on the firing of Davey Martinez and Mike Rizzo from the Nationals?
I mean, I was kind of shocked, right? I think, dude, you got a guy who hit on three freaking guys in a trade, right? And I can get it where it can get a little bit, stale at times, but I think Mike Rizzo, more than a lot of people, is a hell of a GM, a hell of a GM who's really, really good at his job. And the first thing I thought is, oh, this guy's gonna have a job tomorrow. like, oh, this guy's next. Oh, they're gonna be knocking down this guy's door, because I think he does a really good job of blending both. And have they had a good season? No, but you also have a guy guys who are young, right? Guys who you need time to develop. The David Martinez thing, I mean, it could have happened in 2019 if you ask me. Like, I think he kind of just they got on the heater and they ran into this championship. I'm not saying he's not a good manager, but I could have taken it or leaving it, whatever. But like, to do it now with this club, who they're not winning, but they have a lot of buzz about them. I think that was ownership reaching.
Well,
a little bit
they
too far.
said I think the statement said something like they need to be re-energized or something. Okay, that's the manager. I mean,
That's the manager.
I mean, you look at Rizzo's track record, especially when making the trades that you have to hit on those trades. He hit on them. Like, he hit on them.
Better than anybody that I can. And Rob, you've covered the game longer than me, but like, that's the best trade package that I've seen come to fruition in the history of my time watching and covering the sport. From just like, you have CJ Abrams, who's an elite player, James Wood, who's probably Hall of Fame, is as our friend and seat 4, seat 5 said, Adam Ottavino, and what's the guy, Gore?
Mackenzie Gore.
Mackenzie Gore.
Another All-Star.
It's tough. It's tough that you're lucky if you hit on one of those guys. One of those guys, you should go down in history. Because guess what? We have a recent trade here in Boston. Not recent, but it's far from recent. A guy in Mookie Betts who drew Jeter Downs. I think he might be over somewhere in Korea somewhere. I don't know where he's playing. Alex Verdugo, DFA'd, and Connor Wong, last time I checked, a 491 OPS and just hit his first RBI of the season like 2 weeks ago. Like, this stuff is hard.
Yeah.
And for the fact that this guy hit on all 3 of those guys who are now all-stars, and one of them seems like an inner circle superstar, Hall of Fame talent, I don't get it, man. It seems like the hustling backwards to me.
Two things. Number one is that when it comes to Juan Soto, I've said this: there hasn't been a team that has regretted anything they've done with a Juan Soto trade. There hasn't. San Diego, they haven't regretted it. They've not only getting him and then trading him away for the players they got. And Michael King, who else they got?
Michael King, freak.
Anyway.
Exactly. That's the point, though.
Yeah.
That's the point.
But yeah.
That's the point that we're making.
Yeah.
We're thinking about Michael King, an injured guy. I think he's injured. And we can't think of anybody else. But we can name all 3 of those guys.
Yeah. There's no question that he hit on that. And then what was the other thing I was going to say? It was something really, really good. If the Nationals get that pick that the Pirates got, Paul Skeens instead of Dylan Cruz, it's the luck of the draw. I mean, and that draft, it was like everyone would have picked. Ben Sherrington came on this podcast and said, hold on, let me write that down. Make sure to brag about Ben Sherrington coming on podcast after Tom Hanks reference. But they were like looking at Dylan Cruz in March of that draft. Schemes wasn't a no-brainer. And so, like, that was, and he might end up being a good player. But, like, if that falls to Rizzo, did the right thing and drafted him, is what I'm saying. He
100%.
He did what he needed to do in that draft. The Strasburg thing doesn't work out. Oh, well, but that's so long ago. Who cares? We're talking about the here and the now. We're talking about what this team
they got
is.
a title.
Yeah.
They have a title.
And also they have a title. And here's the other thing, Julian, is that everybody coming in this year thought they had a decent team. So when you think you have a decent team, they probably put together some talent. What's that mean? This probably means the manager is the guy that you need to turn over, right?
Right.
A lot of people thought they had talent, and the other thing that they were clearly handcuffed about was the ownership.
Yeah. Look, I remember being there in DC and it was like, oh God, the Caps won. Oh God, like the Nationals won. That might have been the greatest stretch of sports in the history of the District of Columbia, minus Doug Williams doing what he did and winning the Super Bowl there for the first time. Like, let's not like say like DC is not a sports city. Like, it's not. It's government and consulting and accounting work. That's what it
Right.
is. Government, accounting, and commanders. That's it. That's all they care about. It's not a baseball city. And so the fact that they won, and then they knew that they were going to lose this kid in free agency because he wasn't signed the $440 million extension. It's like, okay, we're going to lose Juan Soto, so let's trade him. And he hit on all three of those guys. You're not that far off. Like, you're not that far off when you have talent of that ilk. I would say
Ooh, nice
you're just not that far. You're just not that far off.
Yeah. I had the same reaction you did. I mean, I know he's been there a long time, but that doesn't just because he's been
It immediately made me start to think about the teams that would have openings for jobs that I think that he would be a great fit at. I'm like, oh, okay, because he's not going to just. If I'm him, I'm not just taking any. Like, I wouldn't take the White Sox job. Like, no, I think he's a guy who's built up a resume and he has his pick of a litter. Davey Martinez, he might need to get it. You might need to be a third base coach for a little bit.
no. Now, you know what Rizzo? Well, Rizzo will do. He'll be like that senior consultant for a year until something opens up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hang out for a while.
hang out
Enjoy your kids if you
and
have them.
decide like Dayton Moore if you're going to run for governor or if you want to be a GM. Either
There
one.
you go.
So
There you go.
all right. We solved a lot of the world's problems, including the fact why you packed two extra pairs on. What's wrong with
I
you?
really thought that was what he was talking about. Apparently not. I shouldn't have cut you off. This is why this is why my mom always says, listen before you speak.
Yeah.
Now that people knows my inner gut issues.
Well, in fairness, you're used to do another podcast that's segmented. It's not so free flowing. So,
Yeah.
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 All right. Good stuff.